27. Verses 5 through 7. 55 through 56, I'm sorry. 55 through 56. Again, this is the crucifixion. And many women who followed Jesus from Galilee, ministering to him, were there looking on from afar, among whom were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. Many women. Most of the men had left, but the women were still there. And then Mark 16. This is one of my most exciting passages in the Bible. I want to find it so I can read it. Mark 16, verse 9. I suppose one of the greatest privileges ever granted to a human being was to be the first witness of the resurrection of Jesus. To whom was it granted? Let me read. And when he rose early on the first day of the week, he appeared first to Mary Magdalene, out of whom he had cast 7 demons. No other human being has had that privilege that excels that, of being the first witness of the resurrection. Who was it? Not an apostle, but Mary Magdalene. And it's stated specifically in that context that Jesus had cast 7 demons out of her. I tell people who've been delivered of demons, you never need to be ashamed. You never need to hang your head. That was her proud testimony. Jesus cast 7 demons out of me. And when he rose from the dead, it was to her that he arrived first, that he appeared first. And one more passage in Matthew 28, verses 5 through 7. Again, it's the resurrection. But the angel answered and said to the women, do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples. So the women were the messengers to the apostles. You understand, it's not a question of rank. It's a question of your function, your calling, and how faithful you are. And many, many women are more faithful than many, many men. As I say, if there's one characteristic that I have noticed in women, it is loyalty. They'll hang in there, and all the men have disappeared. But dear sisters, believe me, I am not interested in putting women down. I'm interested in helping women to take their God-appointed place and function in it. Now, everybody comes up with exceptions. And one of the favorite exceptions is that about women in leadership is Deborah. Well, that's true. She was a leader because there was no man to do it. Shame on the men, not on Deborah. But bear in mind, she was an exception. There are 13 persons mentioned as judges in the book of Judges and 1 Samuel. Only one of them was a woman. The problem is when we make the exception the rule, then we are outside God's blessing. And let me close now by a statement about America. America has 2 critical problems. One of them I have spoken about for at least 30 years. It is delinquent males. That's problem number 1. Males who reneged on their responsibility. Problem number 2 is rebellious females. And the problem is they each make the other worse. Every time a man is delinquent, it tends to make a woman rebellious. And every time a woman is rebellious, it gives a man an excuse for being delinquent. And this is the critical, basic problem of this country. Let us not contribute to it. Let us be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I'll turn closing to Malachi, chapter 4. Verses 5 and 6. The last two verses of the Old Testament. Chronologically, these are the last verses written in the Old Testament. And notice the last verse is a curse. Thank God for the New Testament. Because if the Old Testament was the end, God's last word to us would be a curse. This is what it says. God is speaking. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. And that word translated curse means something that is totally anathema. It's something that's totally rejected by God. There is nothing more to do about it. It's gone. And if we do not solve our family problems, we do not have reconciliation between husbands and wives and parents and children, the result will be a curse. It's a serious topic. We each need to take it seriously. You may not agree with everything I've said, but seek God for yourself and ask Him to show you what is your role, and ask Him to make you faithful in fulfilling that role. May God bless you. Amen.